Hi everyone, today I am going to be doing my first picture out of Imagimorphia by Kerby Rosanes, and I have picked this snail to do. Just need a piece of paper to put behind the page. Always good to put one behind when you're colouring, just to protect the page behind. As this is a new book, I don't know whether the print is going to transfer from one page to the next. Sorry, I'm rustling. So I have a piece of paper to fold up, roll up, to put under. So I'm going to protect the page behind, slipping that underneath. Gosh, that was noisy. Sorry. And I'll tuck it under so it's out of my way. There we go. And we're going to do this snail here. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and oops. So he is using the cross into the centre of the page a little bit more. I can't get the book in shot very well. Oops. I should just zoom out the wrong way, just a tad, so we can see the top of the building. There we go, that's the best I can do because of my tripod's in the way. So here he is, Mr. Snail. Now I've got my Black Widow pencils today. I thought it might make sense to use some sort of nice scary themed pencils with our snail. Now this one I'm going to do in a more conventional way, and then I might not do that for all of them. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm going to start with my Spiderweb, which is a grey colour. I hope you can see that. And I'm going to do the actual snail. I am going to zoom in a bit more for you because we don't need to see the top of the building. You can see what I'm actually doing then. Right, let me just fiddle and faff a minute, sorry. Okay, let's get going. Now we have got shading drawn in under here for us, which is really useful. Now I don't know whether when I go over this with a light layer of pencil, whether I need to add any more shading of my own or whether that will be enough. Having not done one of these books before, I don't know. So I'm going to have a go. Now when I did my flip through of this book, which you may have watched, I have a link to it in the description in case you want to see it and you haven't seen it. I did mention that I don't like snakes. I don't know if you remember. I was out on a walk this morning and I saw a scary, scary critter. If you don't like snakes, I'm pretty sure it was a slow worm rather than a snake. But oh my, right across the path in front of me, I was on the canal path. We have a lovely canal here. And it was moving its little head around. I was like, ooh. Didn't have a tongue poking out, which makes me think it was a slow worm. It was dark brown. It's quite long, but very thin. So it would have been a baby snake if it was a snake. And I was like, ooh. We used to have snakes around here in this area along by the canal. So I understand before I moved in. But haven't seen any before. So that was a bit scary. Right, we've done a base of grey. Now this grey isn't very deep, so I'm going to darken that up with some black. In my set of Black Widows, the black is called Black Widow. So what I'm going to do is think about the areas where it's going to be darker. So obviously under the building here, we've already got our indication that it's darker. So what I'm going to do is do a lot of layers here and then just gently do less as I come away. So that looks like it's shadow. That's very effective with those lines drawn in. It really does help. So that's good. Let me just hold that page. It's flapping around. It's most annoying. In fact, I'm going to put something on it and stop it flapping. There we go. I don't know if that worked actually. It's my remote control thingy for my camera. Right. So there's that bit of shadow. That really looks very three-dimensional, doesn't it? I like that a lot. Wow, I'm getting excited about this now. Now the bottom, around here we're going to have some shadow. This bit's in shadow, we can see it's got markings. Underside of here, look, it just guides us, doesn't it? It's really useful. And just there, I'm not going to put too much on that one though. Now here we're going to have a bit under here. And I'm going to put a little bit on that side just so that looks like it stands out a little bit. Can you see all of that in shot? You can't see the end of that tentacle. Eye, it's his eye, isn't it? There we go. Oops, sorry. Oh, there we go. And then underneath here I think would be a little bit darker where it's near the ground. That's just me thinking, that's not actually indicated in the shading, although I'm thinking that that bit looks like it's a bit lower, as if something like that's going on. Do you think? And then we'll take that to there, maybe under here, like there's some sort of layers of skin. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked that closely to a snail. I guess this is a snail, or it's not a slug, it's got a house on its back. So apparently some snails don't have a shell. So I learnt once, which is really confusing. I'm going to go back in with the Spiderweb grey and just try and pull forward a few areas, like blend this in a bit more. So yes, apparently some snails don't have shells. So when you see a slug, you might be seeing it might be a snail. The facts I learn, I wonder if it's even true. It just comes out of my brain. Sometimes my children tell me things, and maybe they're having me on. I don't know. They're teenagers, they know it all. Now here, I'm picking up my black again because we've got a few little layers here. Or I think we'll just pop in a few lines of darker colour just to emphasise those. Well, I think we'll do the same here, just so it sort of matches. Okay, I'm done with this body now. I'm quite liking the way these black widows take on this paper as well. Now we're going to move on to the building itself. So we have some fun with this. I'll zoom out a little bit so we can see the whole thing. I can't move my book down anymore. Ooh. Camera went a bit funny then. Okay, so we've got this building here. Now, we could do it just brown. It's building. Wood. Is it wood? Is it brown? But I'm going to try and do something a bit more interesting with it just because it's fun. So I am going to grab a few colours to start with. Okay, I am going to try, I've not tried this with black widows before, to do a sort of gold bits on the building. So I'm going to use the dark brown first. In fact, I am going to zoom back in. Sorry, we're going in and out and in and out. My zoom is quite slow though, so hopefully it's not making you feel too travel sick. This panel here I'm going to try and do in gold. So I'm going to use a dark brown firstly on these edges. I'm ignoring this rim and things. We can possibly play with that at the end, but I'm just going to try and get some basic gold going. As I say, I haven't tried it with these. So you see what I do? I put more layers here and I fade them towards the middle. And then I grab my next shade. I'm going to use the Stink Bug. I'm going to go from back here and make that quite a hard layer. And then start to fade it down. Now even if this doesn't go gold, it'll hopefully still look okay. And we're going to end with the banana. Oops, I'll just drop it. Alright, with the yellow I usually go over the whole thing and it seems to give it a bit of a shine. You need to leave a bit of white in the middle so that it looks shiny. Just seeing how much we need to leave. Sometimes I think that it needs a bit of brightening, so I'm going to actually grab the paler yellow. We have got a lemonade. I'm just going to go over all of it with this, just to really brighten it up. This paper seems to be quite happy taking quite a few layers, but still leave that white at the end. I mean in the middle, sorry. There we go. That looks okay, I think. I think it looks okay. It's not my best, but it's all right. Now I'm going to do, I'm sure I've got a darker brown. Yeah, I have. I'm going to go in with my darker brown, my Huntsman. Just put a few details in now. So under here, where it's going to be shadowed, I'm virtually going over the black line and just a bit underneath, just to try and make it look shadowed. I'm going to reduce how hard I press as I come towards the middle, so that it still retains that hopefully metallic look, and do the same under here. Can even put a little bit all around there, just to try and make it look slightly more three-dimensional, as if this is a little rim on it. And under these as well, can make them look maybe slightly more three-dimensional. Not putting quite so much pressure on, and less layers towards that middle. There we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing on a few other parts of this. So I'm thinking the rim of the roof here, I'm going to do, well, you need to see it. Like that, and the one, do I do the underneath or that one? I think this underneath bit. And again the underneath bit on here. Why not? You see, not really, hang on. I'm just going to reveal the whole of it, because we're going to do a little bit on here. I'm just going to colour over the black there. I'm going to do a tiny bit here. We're going to do a sort of flourish at the top in gold. Okay, and now we grab our stink bug. So we're doing the same as we did on the lower level. We're zoomed out, so it's harder to see, but because I've done it already, hopefully you've got the idea of what's going on. So I'm talking from behind a leg of the tripod at the moment. I hope you can hear me, but I can't see because of the glare of the light if I look straight on, but hopefully it works well for you. The light is brilliant, but I have to have it a bit bright when I'm recording for my liking. When I'm not recording, I fiddle with it, so it's to my liking. So now we go in with that banana. Take that almost to the middle of each bit that we've chosen to do in this sort of metallic look. Now, I haven't used these for metal, so it's a bit of fun. Usually when I do metallics, I will use a bigger range of colour. I might do a few more browny yellows, but I still think this is working okay. The building looks quite fun as well with these touches on it. Not sure what I'm going to do with the rest yet, but you know, we'll see. I like doing buildings. Trying to leave a little bit of white still in the centre right at the top. There we are. There's that bit done. Okay, now I need to think about the rest. I've decided that I'm going to do these roof bits in red, just because I really want them to stand out. So I've got an orange and a red, which I think I'll use so that I can do a little bit of depth and shading. So I'm going to start with the pumpkin. There it is. And what I'll do again is I'll zoom in and show you it a little bit more closely on the lower roof, and then do the others a bit zoomed out so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just putting a layer down all over. This is a fairly even layer, See, it's quite orangey, but that's okay. I think it'll work with that gold anyway. Okay. So that's it for that. And now I'm going to go in with my red, and I've chosen this Ladybug. And I've got to think about where it's going to be darker. I think we need to follow the pattern of the metallic colour, so I think we need to make it darker on the outside. I'm pressing quite hard, putting down quite a lot of layers, and reduce it to the middle where we would just have the pumpkin colour. So I'm just trying to make sure it's sort of fairly even on each side. So do a little bit on each side, and then I can try and even up the tone as much as I can so it looks fairly matching. Let's have a look in the camera, is the best way. I think it needs to be a little bit darker on this end. There we go. So that's the roof. It does look quite orangey red, but that's fine. I'm going to zoom back out and do the other roofs. I'm sorry I can't move the book very well. But as I say, my tripod's in the way. I need to find a different arrangement. So this is the pumpkin again. I'm going to take it up to that line. That's it. Now I was thinking about doing some silver on here, but because our snail is grey, I don't think that's going to work. So I'll have to think of something else in a minute. For our other colours. I wanted the building to be a bit brighter than the snail. You know, it's a pretty page. Why not put some pretty colours in here for the buildings? So I'm going back in now with my Ladybug colour, and this roof is going to be similar to the one below, so it will be darker on the outside and then less towards the middle. I'm pressing harder here, not too hard. Don't want to undent the page. You know, I don't know what the paper in this book is like, having not used it before, so I need to be a little bit careful. But that's okay. I think this side again needs just a tad more. Maybe the light's brighter on that side. It looks like it's lacking in depth. And then the roof here, I'm going to make it a little bit dark on the outside, but I think I'm going to put most of the darker colour down at the bottom, just because of this rim here seems to be turned up and it looks like it wants to throw shadows upwards. So that's how I am going to do it, like that. There we are. Now I'm looking at the rest of the structure. We have windows. I think I'm going to do the windows in a nice banana colour, because they'll be bright and shiny and inviting. They are quite dark, aren't they? But I want to make them light. I'm just really just pushing in a lot of colour here to try and brighten them away from the black that's in there. Hopefully it will make it look inviting. There we go, it goes quite well with the gold, and we still got some depth from the black, which I really like. So the pillars now in between the windows, just having a look and think. I don't think I want to stray away and do too many more different colours. So I'm going to grab this, I'm just sharpening. It's quite a pale colour, but we'll see if it works. This is the Toadstool, and I think all these verticals I'm going to do in this. I'm going to try and get quite a lot of colour down by layering it up. And what I'm doing is I'm putting more colour at the top and bottom, because I think there would be more shadow there from the roof and the bits below. And we'll do the same here, so it's darker here, lighter towards the middle and darker back up from the bottom. It could be quite subtle for this. all of the uprights will be the same. I'm not sure about this one. I haven't decided yet. But rather than going for the sort of brown wood look, we're just brightening and make it cheery. Let's have a look at that. I think that's okay. It's palish, but I think it'll work. I've got some gaps there I need to fill in. There we go. Now, we've got one. Oh, we've got an egg yolk, which is a yellowy colour, which I think we can use for this. I think it'll work well with the gold. There. And I think I'm going to use it on these bits up here. So I'm putting more layers on the outside and all of these, so more layers on the outside and reducing towards the centre so it looks shiny like the gold. Yeah, we'll do it here, why ever not. Keep it going through. I'm using a lot because I like it, and I love the warmth of the yellows, and I'm going to use it here too. Here I'm going to make it a bit darker at the bottom if I can. We've got lines drawn there for us to indicate that they need to be darker. Now we have these sort of shuttery things above the window. That's what I think they are anyway, or like what are they called? Sort of pull over thing. Awning, that's the word. I'm going to do those in the pumpkin colour. These I'm going to make darker at the top, lighter towards the bottom. Just because they'll be shadowed from the roof above. And hopefully they look a little bit different to the roof. They do. So they stand out on their own. I'm going to do this one the same colour. A little bit underneath. Then I'm just going to have a little look and see how that is looking, but I think that's done. I'm happy with that and I really enjoyed that. I was worried about the book, and I think you could tell when I did the flip through, but actually that was so much fun and it looks so effective with the lines that were already there, so I'm really, really happy. So that's fantastic. So I'm so happy that I was sent this book. I'm so excited about doing all the rest. So thank you so much. Thank you all for watching as well. Hope you enjoyed the video and happy colouring.